There will rape of their victims, that sort of thing.
Jensch accuses CAN of kidnapping people out of cults and then trying to deprogram them. Defenders of the practice call these rescues, which are perfectly legal when they involve youngsters under 18. But Scientology says CAN was involved in illegal deprogramming of adults, and they sent us reams of documents they say are examples, including the sworn declaration of a former deprogrammer named Mark Bloxham.
I've got it right here. Okay. Mark Bloxham said he was involved in a number of kidnappings. He said he was involved in one with Cynthia Kisser, where he actually worked for CAN. He got many referrals from CAN. He said most of his referrals were from CAN.
So we tracked down Mark Bloxham and asked him about it.
How would you describe that sworn declaration of yours?
It's embellished, to say the least. It's not true.
You lied.
Yes, I did.
Why did you lie?
I saw it as a means to maybe support my habit.
He says he was a drug addict when he signed that declaration 5 years ago after he was approached by one of Moxon's private detectives. Bloxham maintains there was an implied promise of money, which never materialized, if he could implicate CAN and Kisser in illegal deprogramming. Clean and sober now, Bloxham wants to set the record straight.
Well, I spoke with Kendrick Moxon not long ago.
Did you tell him you had lied?
Yes, and it irritates me that they persist in using this statement as a propaganda tool to support their position about Cult Awareness Network.
But the church accuses CAN of coercing Bloxham's change of testimony. For its part, CAN says that while it did permit deprogrammers to attend its conventions, it was never involved in illegal deprogramming, and in fact, CAN was never charged with a crime. Even Michael Schomers, the church's own investigator, couldn't find any evidence of one. Did you ever find that they were deprogramming people or involved in that?
Never heard anybody at any meeting at any time.
Ever mentioned deprogramming?
No.
So when you sent your reports in to the Church of Scientology, were they disappointed with you?
Yes, they were. They just keep on going. There had to be something. They knew that there just had to be something. But there simply wasn't anything.
Cynthia Kisser says the church's final assault on CAN began when hundreds of Scientologists from around the country wrote virtually identical letters asking to become members of CAN. Included among them was this model letter with instructions to be put in your own words. Fearing, she says, the church was out to take control of CAN, Kisser denied their applications to join. CAN was then hit with a barrage of lawsuits by individual Scientologists claiming religious discrimination.
I got hit with 12 suits in 1 week. I would open the door, a process server would give me a suit. They were suing us all over the country, sometimes simultaneously.
In all, CAN was hit with more than 50 lawsuits. Even though most of the suits were eventually dropped or won by CAN, she says the cost of defending them, nearly $2 million, drove CAN to the brink of bankruptcy.
Would you concede, Reverend Jensch, that at least part of the motivation for the lawsuits was to get CAN, was to silence them?
I would say that the individuals who were involved definitely wanted to do something about CAN. What are you going to do when they're trying to destroy you? Look, if you're a Jew, if you're a Jew, no Jew is going to cry about the fact that the Nazi Party is gone. If you're an African American, no one's going to cry that the KKK is gone. I'm not crying because CAN is gone. Okay? They were a vicious group. They tried to destroy us.
My question is, would you concede that at least part of what happened with those lawsuits was a deliberate attempt to harass and intimidate them into silence?
No, absolutely not.
Well, you're not going to make us believe that there were these 30 or 50 lawsuits. It's all sprang up, you know, just serendipitously.
They didn't spring up serendipitously. A number of Scientologists came to our firm and said, I'm being discriminated against by CAN. We had these complaints in the computer.
Who was telling them to try to join?
Nope. Oh, who was telling them to try to join CAN in the first place?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a kind of a grassroots movement of Scientologists that wanted to go to CAN and dialogue with them.
50 people all across the country suddenly all decided in unison, we need to sue CAN. I don't think so. This is not the way it works.
Stacy Young says she sat in on staff meetings where the litigation campaign against CAN was discussed.
Once they put CAN in their sites, with regard to litigation. It was only a matter of time before they were going to find a case that they could use to put them out of business.
That case came in the person of Jason Scott, an 18-year-old member not of Scientology, but of a fringe Pentecostal church in Bellevue, Washington. One of Can's volunteers referred Jason's mother to a deprogrammer who kidnapped Jason. Can was never charged in the case, and the deprogrammer who was acquitted. Jason says a lawyer in Moxon's firm then recommended that he file a civil suit.
He's like, this thing is worth millions. Let's get him.
Did they specifically say that you should sue Can?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. That was the kicker, is Can. We got to get Can involved.
So Jason sued. Kendrick Moxon was his lawyer. And despite Can's insistence that it had nothing to do with illegal deprogramming, the jury disagreed. So did the judge. And the $1.8 million Can was ordered to pay Jason forced it into bankruptcy.
Hello, Cult Awareness Network.
And that's why when you visit Can's new headquarters in Hollywood, you can find out about all the good things the church is doing. Since Stacy Young began speaking out, she believes the church has waged a fair game attack against her, including what she calls attempts to sabotage her business, a small nonprofit animal sanctuary in Seattle. The church denies it. We, on the other hand, deny the church's accusation that we have a conflict of interest in this story because producer Richard Bonin has an aunt who's a lawyer involved in litigation against the church. Though that's true, our producer's Aunt Lita had nothing to do with our story.